Hey guys, it's Alina, and today I am going to be showing you how to make a bulk order form using Canva AI. And so hopefully this will be something in which you can use, tailor it to your business. Obviously, you need to have a pretty good prompt. I went ahead and did a few of those things ahead of time just to make this quick because I am on my way to the city. So let's get into it. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't liked, comment, shared, subscribed, please do. It helps. I'm on my way to hopefully 1,000 followers. I don't know. January was a pretty good month for us. We got a few more followers than we've ever had. And so super excited about that. And if this would help somebody who you know, please share the video with them. I don't know if you've seen my other video, but I currently have a free planner available on our website. It's called Make a Dollar Out of 15 Cents Entrepreneur Planner for Entrepreneurs, the 2026 edition, because I've had other editions, one from last year and then one from 2024. And this one I'm just sort of going hard on because this will lead, not only is it free and it's available for you, it's 102 pages. It's a planner for entrepreneurs or anybody really to sort of grow in whatever it is that they do. They can kind of tailor it to that. But you will also have the option of going on our website and getting a workbook along with this that I'm working on, and then eventually an academy. Because, I'm just that girl. I'm going to do whatever I can in order to help those in my community because I know how important that is. So again, trying to be a good ancestor, again, trying to help my community, and again, literally just excited to share what I know with you, whether it applies or not. Yeah. So definitely check this out on our website, CaliforniaBlackLabel.com, and hopefully this works out for you. So check it out. Okay, let's get into it. So right now I am going to open up my Google Meets because that is how I'm going to show you how to do this. What I've done with Canva is quite a bit, and it has been a great tool for us. I pay an annual subscription for it. If you are not familiar with Canva, this is going to be something that's going to be a really good tool for you. Here is where you'll find the Canva AI little button, and you're going to want to click on that whenever you're starting this process. You can do templates, you can do your own designs, you can use Canva AI, and that is what we'll be utilizing today. With Canva AI, you have only a certain amount of characters that you can input into this particular AI system. And so what I have done is I have utilized my ChatGPT. So let me go there. And I don't think, where are we? ChatGPT. Okay. So what I initially told ChatGPT was that I need a form in order to, do bulk orders on. And I wanted to make it in Canva AI. And so what I needed it to do was create me a prompt. So in here, you'll see what I told it the form's purpose is for: collect complete, accurate apparel order information from customers for bulk orders. And then it gives it design requirements as well as form and section fields. And then you go down the line of all these different sort of layout of each section, what you're going to want to include in it, the approximate size, the personalization, if any, the image, or the cost of it. And so I just literally sectioned it out. So there's an apparel section, there's a hat section, there's a tote section, as well as a backpack, a crossbody, and a sticker section, and a patch section. And after all of those options, you have the embroidery options, which is just basically like a read-only informational text to let them know like what it is that they can get, dependent upon you and your clients' agreed upon terms. And so you just align it with that. Now, this particular thing that I had posted in ChatGPT, I created on a Google Doc, and I just sort of laid it out and told it where I wanted or how I wanted the information sort of gathered or grouped in that particular section and what I needed from it. Now, whenever it spit out the prompt for me, because I asked it for a prompt, it gave me a reusable prompt. So there is a way in which I use ChatGPT, and it's always, one, I tend to use it on genius mode, and then two, I also always ask it to gather the information in a certain way. So that way it keeps me sort of aligned with the idea that I'm going to be creating an academy and that I'm going to need to reuse this information at some point in time. And so the way that my information is structured and the way that it repeats the information back to me is specifically how I asked it to do it. And at some point, I'll go over what that looks like and how you can do it too. But essentially, it says, here's a reusable master template you can use to organize information before generating any form with an AI, Canva, Google form, Typeform, or Jotform. This is intentionally written as a form builder prompt and data schema. I don't know. So you can reuse it for multiple customers, cohorts, programs by only swapping the field to fields. Okay. So that was helpful, but whenever I actually put it into Canva AI, it didn't quite work. And so all of this is great, but it gave me something in which I did not anticipate, and it didn't actually make the form for me whenever I initially did it. So after I realized that that wasn't going to work, I needed to then go back to ChatGPT and ask it to essentially change it up because it wasn't working in the way that I thought. And so what I asked it, or what I told it, was Canva is acting like it doesn't know what I'm asking for. I need to update this prompt so I can add in the information after it confirms it understands the structures needed. And what I asked for was a one-page web page with all this different information. What ChatGPT suggested was that I go in and make this like a 3-part prompt, which is perfect because in Canva AI, you are not able to do a certain amount of characters. So it doesn't really say on here, but there's a limit, right? So there is a limit as to how many characters you can have that you can input initially into the Canva AI prompt. And then also there's like 5,000 characters I think you can put after your initial prompt. But really, I want to sort of get it done as quickly as possible and as efficiently. So what it did for me was then lay it out in a structure confirmation prompt, one prompt. But then I asked it at the very end of it, it suggests if Canva still struggles after this, the next selection, which does work reliably, is one prompt to generate page wireframe, second prompt to populate form fields, and third prompt to apply branding. And so I asked it to break it out into 3 different prompts. So that's what it did for me. Now I've gone ahead and I've done this before. So I did this last night after I realized like what I was doing didn't work for whatever reason. But the first time I did it, it was fine. Second time, third time, fourth time, totally fine. But whenever I was actually trying to make the video, it like didn't work for whatever reason. So now it is giving me 3 different prompts, right? And these prompts are to help it build the structure that I want, to let it know specifically what it is that I need. And so what I did was go ahead and add these to a Google Doc just so I had them. So I named one, the bulk order form test 1. I named the other one bulk order form test 2, and then I named the bulk order form test 3, but we'll get to that. So in this particular prompt, it gives me basically the framing of what I want it to do. Like it's letting it know your task is to confirm you understand the structure and rules for a one-page web page that functions as a bulk apparel and accessory order form. So it says this is not a document, a slideshow, a multi-page website. And so the first prompt is going to basically let it know this information. So important, do not create a web page yet. Your task is to confirm you understand the structure and rules for a one-page web page that, and then I'm going to change out a few things here, and I already have for the most part. Let it know that the free text allowed for contact information and personalized name embroidery, and then it only said before personalized name embroidery 16 character limit, but I added in if selected for each section, if if selected for each selection. And so that helps to get it to understand that there might be more than one selection. And so it needs to create a free text allowed input field that is going to be for each one that is selected. So that just little things like that you need to sort of make sure that you understand and keep aligned with what you need. So I changed it a little bit here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this prompt and I'm going to copy and paste. And I guess I could have literally just said copy all. I'm going to go back to my Canva AI, make sure to click on this button, make sure you're in it. And then I am going to paste it and I'm going to let it do its thing. And it's going to think, it's going to figure out what it is that I'm asking for. It says, I understand this is a one-page scrolling form style webpage for collecting bulk apparel and accessory order, not a document, slideshow, or multi-page site. So my understanding of the page structure, and then it goes down the list of things in which it understands that it wants me to do. And you can just check and confirm and make sure that that's what you're wanting it to do. And then from there, it says, I'm ready to receive the wireframe request. So the wireframe request is in prompt 2. And so again, got this from ChatGPT. You do have to clarify what it is that you need, and you will have to do the back end work in order to clarify that. But the idea is that once you have sort of all your information down as to how you want it structured and what works best for you and like how you want it to work for your client, then you input that in ChatGPT and it spits this out for you. So it just basically gives it the wireframe for what it is that we want for this one-page web page. So it says create a one-page web page wireframe for a bulk apparel and accessory order form using placeholder content only. So this is going to prompt it to actually make that form. And so you can see it in real time. So we are going to just copy and we are going to paste here. And then from there, we're going to press enter, let it do its thing. And here we go. So it's making the bulk apparel and accessory order form wireframe. And here it goes. And it says the wireframe. So at the bottom, after it's done that, the wireframe complete, this wireframe establishes a single page vertical flow with clear selection breaks, conditional sections, embroidery text only appears if yes is selected, a repeatable product blocks with drop down and checkbox inputs only, and then read only cost fields, and then no user editing. So with those particular fields, 16 character embroidery limit per item. That's not right. It shouldn't be per item, but we'll see what it says. We'll see what it does. Mobile-friendly spacing with clear typography and hierarchy, professional and neutral aesthetics, suitable for academic or workforce contexts, and then ready for development when you provide actual product names, sizes, colors, pricing per item, real embroidery specifications, and actual contact or branding requirements. So that is going to be in our third prompt. Now, if we go back to ChatGPT will give us the third prompt, and it has like item name in here, and it has paste finalize rules or leave as is. So whenever I take this, I also have to expand on it whenever I take it to my docs. So that's what I did. I literally copied and pasted this, put it in a doc, and then I literally saved it the way that I want it with all the information. And I just put that there is, like, I set the cost at $10. Now, generally, if you're going to get a long sleeve t-shirt, it is not $10. It is much more, especially if you're having embroidery on it. If you are also adding personalization on it, that is not a realistic cost. But for the purpose of this test, I made everything $10. And then that was just from sizes small through extra large. But then all the rest of the sizes, the 2X, the 3X, the 4X, that, and I don't know why this is K, all I left a little note at the end, not an option, leave out of dropdown. So just so that way it lets it know, like, this is not something we're going to utilize, don't include it in the form. I did also, along with the cost for this, I put the name, I put what section it is in, and then also the color options for this particular shirt that they want to get. Same thing with the sweaters, same thing with the hoodies, and so on and so on. You're going to do this each section, and you're going to make sure to be as detailed as possible to give people the options that are available without it being super complicated. And so you just have to be really detailed about what it is that you're doing. And obviously, this information would come from between you and your client. You guys would decide on what's going on this order form, and then from there, you would build it out. And so this is what I've done. I've let it know that totes are the ultimate cost of the tote is $10 per se. And then the ultimate cost of the personalization, whether it be above or below, is also $10. Now, that's not, again, not the real price, but for the sake of this example or this test, that is what I've put it for. And so on and so on, crossbody bags, backpacks, totes, hats, and a few apparel options. In section 9, you have the embroidery information display only section, which is going to have what is above it, and hopefully calculate all of that information and put it in there as an information only. And then section 10 is the cost breakdown. So that is supposed to auto calculate. Now, whenever I initially did this, it did not. And so I had to go in and actually let it know in section 10, this is what I would like. I needed to auto calculate all selected items. So once I've put in all my information in here and it's exactly how I want it, I am going to then now go select all. I'm going to copy. Just make sure I got it all and didn't get in anything I don't want. Okay, once I have selected all and I have copied everything, I'm going to take it to Canva and I'm going to input it in here. And then see, it tells you that there is a limit here. And then I'm going to press the upward button. And it says, so I understand the complete specification. Before I build the fully functional web page, I need to clarify one critical detail about pricing. You provided cost information, but I noticed several entries show incomplete pricing. Should I assume all apparel items cost $10 as shown, small through extra large, across all items, or do you have specific pricing for the other sizes? And it asks that I should use. And then since you specified to omit the 2X, the 3X, and 4X, the dropdown, I'll proceed with all apparel as small through extra large as $10, all hats as $10, all totes, backpacks, crossbodies, and stickers as $10, and personalization add-ons as $10. So perfect. So I understood exactly what I was asking it to do, even though it asked a clarifying question. And so confirming structure, and then it said, is this pricing assumption correct? If so, I'll proceed and build a fully functional web page. And I'm just going to tell it, yes, that is correct. Please proceed. And then I hit enter. And it's going to think about what it is that I want. It's going to start creating that code. Now, this is pretty cool. What it does, it literally shows you in real time that it's creating this code for this web page. I do not know how to make code. I wouldn't know the first thing about it. And I literally couldn't tell you, from a hole in the wall how to do it. And so the fact that it will do it for you, and it's also available for you to copy and paste and save somewhere if you know how to utilize code in that way, that's great. But it will also, it will show you at the end of this, and right now it's at 500, almost 600 lines. It will show you at the end of this fully formed form. And that is the cool thing about Canva AI is that literally not only are you seeing the backend information and can also utilize it however you see fit and change whatever is necessary, but it will also create this beautiful form for you. So it has created a bulk apparel and accessory order form for me that allows me to input the organization cohort name, contact phone number, contact email. So that way, whenever a customer is ordering something, they can go in there and input that information. That is one or a couple of the freeform inputs that you can put in here. And then you see that there's the apparel selection, the hat selection, tote, the backpack, the crossbody, the sticker. Those are all of our sections. And then here's the embroidery information. And this is, again, read only. So what it says is the placement, the approximate design size, the thread color, and the caveat that I put inside there. The approved design, embroidery will use pre-approved organizational design, personalization text names added above or below design at same font size and style. And then it says character limit is 16 characters, maximum personalization line, which is exactly what we agreed to. After that, or exactly what the client and I agreed to. And then after that, it's going to be order summary and cost breakdown. Now, again, for the purpose of this, and I can't stress that enough, for the purpose of this test, we've set everything at $10 just so we can accurately in our head, like, no, okay, that's $10, this is $10, and it's going to add it up. We can add it up in our head, but it should, in theory, add it up down here as well and give you a subtotal before tax. So that way you know exactly what it is that you are supposed to give to your organization or your cohort in order to place that order that you want to place. I would normally use this form. Is by making sure that it's just all it's doing is collecting the data and then allowing us at the very end of whatever the sale is or whatever the time frame is for people to order what they want. Then it closes and we can utilize that data to finally go and like actually get the cost of the payments from everybody. So once it is created, we can just go through it really quickly and you can see that there's these input fields that anybody can put their information in. So I'm just going to add in mine. That's my organization. That's my name. That's our number. And then that is a good email for us whenever you need anything from California Black Label. And then here you have all your sections, and we'll get into those in just a moment. And then here is the embroidery information read-only section, which stipulates exactly what I wanted it to. And then at the bottom is the order summary and cost breakdown. And that, in theory, once you've selected certain things, will populate inside here. And then this form does not collect payment, and that's intentional, but it is helpful to keep all the information in line. And so at the very end, it's just an order confirmation. I confirm that my item size, color, and personalization details are correct. Orders cannot be changed after the sale closes. So ideally, they would click on here, and then they would click the Submit Order Request Form button, and then their order is done. And it will populate into a worksheet that me and the client will work together to make sure that everybody pays what exactly it is that they're ordering. It pays for what exactly everybody is ordering. Okay, so here we have the apparel selection. Now I've added in quite a few things for the apparel selection. And in theory, it is going to allow for, okay, so here we have an issue that I can see right off the bat. So here's the essential long sleeve t-shirt, but that is not the only apparel selection that it has. So I need to let Canva AI know, hey, that's not right. There should be more apparel selections. But if you take a look, it will have the correct sizing, and then you can add however many quantities you want. You can add the colors, which is correct for what I asked it for that particular item. And then once you have done that, so it says add personalization embroidery. You can choose yes or no. If you choose yes, then you can put where you want it, above or below. And then you can actually input the information of what you want on it. So that's nice that it does that. And even if, so I'm going to show you, even though that there's an issue, I am going to show you what, and it says estimated item cost is $10, and that's a read-only film, so that will not change. First of all, let's say I want a small, because you know, she's nice and tiny, and let's say I want an athletic dark green long sleeve t-shirt, and I do want embroidery on it, and I want it above the design that is already approved, and I wanted to say I love, and then let's leave I love at the top, and then let's put Oh, that's another issue. It doesn't allow, even if I wanted it for the bottom, it doesn't allow me to make that differentiation. So I need to also let Canva AI know that the personalization should have two different options for the above and below. So we need to let them know that. But let's just say that's what I love hot moms. There we go. That is what we want to put on the top. And then in theory, because we've selected this item, we've added a quantity, we've added a color, we've put in embroidery, personalization. If you go to the bottom, it should populate here, and it is not. So that's another thing we need to let Canva know. So as of right now, I'm going to go back to this, and this is just version 1. And sometimes you're just going to have to literally help to coax it in the way that you want it. So what I'm going to input in here is in section 2, apparel selections, there should be multiple apparel options as well as separate input fields. So what I wrote was, in section 2, apparel selection, there should be multiple apparel options as provided, as well as a separate input field free text for both personalization options for top and bottom. Personalization, and I'll say when selected. All fields when item is selected should populate in section order summary and cost breakdown to give subtotal of costs for each selected subtotal of cost for all selected items. And we're going to input that. And let's see what it is. It says I'll update the apparel selection to include product type breakdown with all 7 apparel items, separate text input field for top and bottom personalization, and ensure all fields properly calculate and populate in the cost breakdown. So, sounds like it heard what I asked for of it. We'll see if it actually does it. Now I'll update the attach item listeners function to handle the new product selector and personalization filters. Okay. So we'll see. It is literally doing its absolute best, I think, in order to create what it is that you ultimately want to do. But sometimes you just have to go back and forth with it and just, make sure that it is doing as you've asked. And this is version 2, bulk apparel and accessory form version 2, Canva code data. So it's updated on the back end. And if you want to see that, you can just literally hit this here. This is where your code is going to be. And again, you can either manually do it if you know how to, or you can utilize Canva AI and it will do it for you. So let's input my information again, and then I'm going to go here, and then here we go. We have all of the items that I've asked it to populate it with, and I'm going to go with, remember, for the purpose of this test, we priced everything at $10. And so I can go with anything. It doesn't matter. Let's go with a hooded sweatshirt because those are cute. I'm going to go with a sensible large. And then we'll pick a color. Let's do athletic purple this time. And then I want to add personalization. Okay. And so personalization, it gave me 2 fields in order to put in the above and below design. However, I want there to also be a yes and a no separately for if you want above or below. And then I want, you to be able to choose it because each personalization costs $10. Now we can leave it as is and we can calculate it on the back end, which is fine. It won't necessarily give us the total correctly at the bottom, but let's just see what it does. So yes, I want to, above it, I want to say I love, and then below it, I want to say hot dogs. Okay. And then, and I can add more apparel options. And I can say I want 1 or 2 of them. So let's make this 2. Let's get a sports tech soft shell jacket. for women, and then we'll do a sensible small. And then for this one, so I know specifically that this particular jacket does not have all these color options. And so I'm going to need to go back to Canva and let it know that that is not correct. And so maybe it should break it down more specifically to include everything that the information that it was given. Because if you go back to our test, it does have the breakdown of color options. Like you do have the essential long sleeve t-shirt, and it seems like all the color options that it's pulling from is literally just the ones for that particular t-shirt. But if you'll go here and look, there's way more color options for the crew neck sweater. There's different color options for the hoodie, the full zip hoodie. There is other color options for the hooded sweater. So like there is, and then also other color options for the actual jackets. So it needs to sort of be let know that there obviously needs to be another revision to include that information, but let's just go with it. The next thing I'm going to tell Canva is to update all of the color options with the specific item, right? So let's say that. So can you update all the color options to coincide with the specific apparel or accessory options? Because the colors are not populating correctly. I'm going to go in here and fix my writing. Whoops. And it doesn't need a whole bunch of jargon, although that's generally how I speak. But it will need a little bit of guidance and some information to make sure that it's doing what it is that you want it to do. Going back here. Okay, so now it's saying, now I need to update the product selector to refresh the colors when the product changes. Perfect. I fixed the color option issue. So now it's saying, now I need to update the product selector to refresh the colors when the product changes. Perfect. I fixed the color options. Here's what I've updated. And it says changes made. Color options now dynamic. When you select an apparel item type and color drop down automatically, it automatically updates to show only the colors available for that specific product. Great, that's exactly what I wanted. Size options are also dynamic. Sizes now update when you change products for apparel items, and then proper product lookup. The system now correctly finds each product and populates its unique color palette. Try this. Add an apparel item, use the item type, drop down to switch between different apparel options like switching from a t-shirt to a hoodie, and you'll see the color options automatically refreshed to match that specific product's available colors. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Let's go through this again and let's input this information. I'm going to go select a hoodie and I'm going to select a size, and oh my God, I'm just like getting spammed. Okay, and then I'm going to, perfect. So if I go and see unisex sponge fleece hoodie, I have said that the starting is white, the bottom is black, and let's just make sure that that is correct. And I think for the most part that's correct. White, pink, black, ash, Atlantic, forest lilac. Is that what we're looking at? Perfect. So that's exactly what I wanted. And then I'm going to go here. Perfect. That's exactly what it should be doing. I'm going to go here because these have limited options. Perfect. So it literally did exactly what I asked it to. So we are going to click on a size. We're going to click on a quantity. Let's get the graphite. And then, yes, we want embroidery. And I just want it on one thing. I just want it above. And it says, what should it say? Hello. Let's just say hello. And then we'll go to hat selection. And remember, it didn't populate on this one. So let's just double check. Perfect. That's exactly what it is. And I know that those are the correct colors. And again, you can add more items. So like say you wanted one ball cap and then one trucker. And if you go here, you can choose those. And we'll say we got the white and pink back split. And then the tote selection. There's 2 tote options. Let's go with this one because I know it has more colors. And that's black. And then I do want personalization, but I'm only going to add personalization to the bottom. And we're going to put it on the bottom. And then the backpack. And there's 3 different options for backpacks. And that is correct. That is correct. Perfect. And that is correct. So I'll go with this one. And it says the estimated cost for this is $10. Now, again, not the actual cost, but just for the purpose of this test, that's what it is. There is no personalization offered there. Same thing here. let's say I want 10 of these. I want 10 of them, and I want them all in Gusty Gray, Heather, and then, oh, did it literally change? Oh, so it updated this. I didn't realize it would do that for me. So it actually updated this estimated item cost. Did it do that to the other ones? I guess it did, huh? No, I didn't even realize. Okay, so awesome. Even better. See, sometimes AI does things that you just don't even realize you want. And then we're gonna get 5 of these, and there is no color option for the stickers. It's just one color option. And then here is our information, just so everybody is on the same page about what it is that they can expect. And then here we go, and it is literally broken down the price for us, and it includes the personalization that we asked for. And because I ordered 2 of these, both at $10, and then I only did one personalization, that would be an additional $20 for 2 items. So that works. And then perfect. So this is literally calculating exactly how I want it. And from there, I can go and confirm my order and say, yes, this is exactly what I wanted, and submit the order request. So I hope this helps. I hope this helps you sort of understand how you can utilize AI. There are a multitude of things in which you can do for it. And sometimes you will have to be on version 3 or version 4 or version 5 and figure out what works best for you. But if I was to do this on my own, and have to learn code and have to learn how to create something like this, or like, I could use Google Forms, but it's not as dynamic as something like this. This just changes the game. This changes the game for me. And honestly, and if I don't like the way that it looks, if I say like, okay, everything's working great, it's all amazing, I love it, it's exactly doing what I want it to do, I can also change the aesthetic of it. I can literally, with just something fun, and say, can you make this to be pride themed with vibrant rainbow colors, but still professional? Okay. If I wanted it to be that, let's hit that. It will think, it will go, and then it will execute. And let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. You can literally do just about anything. You just have to let it know what you're looking for. And if you don't like it, you can always change it. And that's the beauty of AI. And I think it's so important to understand how this is just going to change the game for so many people, especially for someone like me who would normally be doing this input manually and would normally have to go to a class or figure out whatever. I literally figured this out utilizing ChatGPT and also Gemini, but I feel like ChatGPT was a little bit better at explaining what it is that I could do. And look at, oh my God, So I feel like ChatGPT was just a little bit better at what I can do, but it really does change the game. And like you can apply this logic to a multitude of different things that you are working with or working towards. And so I just wanted to make sure to share this information with you guys. I hope it helped. I hope it in some way it inspires you to go out there and utilize AI in just a small way. Again, if you need help, look at how cool that is. Like, look at how it changed everything and how it will still calculate accordingly because it doesn't change anything on the back end. It just changes it aesthetically and kept it professional, but yet fun and pride themed. Like, there are so many options here that you can do. Again, make sure to go out there and get the planner. It is free. The How to Make a Dollar on 15 Cents planner is free. There are so many things inside here that you can use to help you along your journey and get what you need to do done. And so I hope this helps you. I hope that you are able to streamline some of the things that you want to do. I hope it frees up some space for you. Your time is so important. And so, you know, if anything that can help to eliminate any sort of stress as an entrepreneur, I completely understand and am totally on board for. And so this is just the new revolution. And as we get further and further along in the year, there will be more advancements and there will be more things to show you. And I already have an idea of what else I want to go over with you. So lots of things that you can do. And so I'm super excited about it. I have been trying to teach myself as much as possible. So hopefully this helps. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you join me on the next video. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye.